Welcome to Talk Bowling episode number 4. I'm John Congan.
I'm Tony Rucco.
And I'm Brian Hallstrom. Talk Bowling is happy to bring you the latest news in the bowling industry, bowling tips, and updates on the largest bowling internet website, bowlingballcom.
All right. What we're talking about today, guys?
We're going to be talking about bowling ball characteristics, coverstock, cores. What are the pieces, the symbols on the coverstock of a bowling ball? What are people looking for, and what do they need?
Okay.
All right. Well, pretty much there's, on most types of balls, you've got an asymmetrical ball and you've got a symmetrical ball. And depending on which one you go after, there's going to be either 3 or 2 different types of pieces included in them.
Right. The first piece is going to be the pin. It's located up here. It's normally a colored dot. Each manufacturer uses different colors. It represents the top of the weight block. If you notice on this cell pearl here, it shows the top up here. It's kind of where the core is held into the ball while it's being made. When they take it off, they fill it in with some colored plug so that you know where the top of the ball is at.
And that's what you're going to use to determine ball reaction. Pin is still the most effective means of determining ball reaction.
Right.
As you move that closer or further away from your positive axis point, you're going to get more hook, less hook. You're going to definitely change the type of roll you get out of the ball. So that's still going to be the most dominant factor when you're drilling your bowling ball.
Right. Now, the pin is going to be the most dominant factor, and one of the other most important factors in drilling a bowling ball is the center of gravity.
Correct. The center of gravity is usually indicated by a small punch mark on the ball. It represents the point on the ball where the ball is perfectly balanced. It's normally on the box, it's going to say top weight. That's going to tell you how much weight is located directly under that point. It does have some play on higher performance balls, asymmetrical balls. We tend to look more at the mass bias and the pin than the CG, and we just kind of let that CG fall wherever it does.
Okay.
What happens if you get too much weight on either side of the ball?
Right, we're still limited by static imbalances. USBC still has static imbalance limitations where you can only have an ounce to either side. So you're gonna have to weigh your ball out if you think you're close to that and put a hole in it or do whatever you have to do to get that back into legal.
So the hole is basically just to pull weight out of the ball to bring the other side. Lower the weight on that side to bring it closer.
To bring the static imbalances back in. You can use different type of holes to increase flare, decrease flare, change ball motion, but most of the time when you're putting a hole in the ball, if you're doing it for static imbalances, it's not big enough, and you try and place it in a part of the ball where it's not going to affect anything like that.
Gotcha. So a large majority of the time, the hole is not going to do much to the ball reaction itself. It's just mainly for taking that weight out of the side?
A lot of the time,
okay.
Yeah. We're going to look more at pin and mass bias, which we'll talk about next. Mass bias is it gives the ball driller kind of another look inside of the bowling ball. It represents a point on the weight block where it is closer to the outer part of the ball, so it helps the ball driller see the weight block, so to speak. And nowadays, when you look at your ball drilling sheets, when you get them, or if you start to talk to your ball driller a little bit, you'll realize that they talk more about pin placement and mass bias placement in relation to your axis. And we just let the CG fall wherever it falls, and we try and work with that after the fact. So mass bias can definitely affect ball reaction as much as pin.
Definitely. Now, you're only going to find a mass bias ball on an asymmetrical ball, of course. I mean, you're going to symmetrical, you're still going to want to use your pin and your CG as your 2 main locators.
Correct. Correct. This is a symmetrical ball. You'll see it. You can't really tell on here, but it only has a pin and a punch mark for the CG. There is no mass bias marking on this. So you're going to use more of your conventional type of layouts with this. You can still find that point on the ball if you want. You can draw a line from the pin through the center of gravity, 6 3/4 of an inch, and that'll give you an idea of where that mass bias would be if it was marked on that ball.
Okay.
For general terms, but normally on a symmetrical block, you're going to use your typical layouts.
Okay.
So what's the big difference between asymmetrical and symmetrical? Is one better than the other? Asymmetrical sounds better to me.
Well, asymmetrical and symmetrical, they're both going to be used for different types of things. Symmetrical balls are typically going to give you a little bit more smoother reaction, but that's not to say that a symmetrical ball is not going to hook more than asymmetrical. It all depends on the bowler, and it depends on how the release is. One of the big factors, and this is going to be the cover stock of the ball, the manufacturer, and what the ball is supposed to do. So here we have a symmetrical core versus an asymmetrical, and depending on how you lay them out, it's going to give you different things. I wouldn't necessarily say one's better than the other, but they both have their purposes.
Gotcha.
Now, one major thing that we're going to be looking at here, ball reaction, I'm going to talk about is the weight block. And the weight block is the green portion of the ball right here in the cell pearl. And the center right here. And these things are going to be giving you different types of reactions just based on the shape, and they both give you different kinds of RG values and differentials. Now, a lot of people don't know what RG and differential is, and these factors are very important when you're picking out a bowling ball. The RG stands for radius of gyration. Typically, the lower the number, the faster the ball revs up, and the higher the number of the differential, whatever the differential rating is, that means track flare. So that means how much the ball is going to flare and cover different portions of the ball. So the more the ball surface touches the surface of the lane equals more friction. More friction equals more hook.
The differential can also be explained by, in simple terms, looking at the height compared to the width of the block, correct?
Right.
So the shorter, stubbier cores like this is a lower differential.
Right.
And then when you get into these taller cores that are a little more narrow, that's your higher differential. So the difference in those two sides.
Right. One way that was always explained to me was if you think of a figure skater and they're doing a spin, and when their arms are open, it means a little bit higher RG or higher.
Right.
So they're spinning around a little bit slower. As they pull in tighter, the faster and faster it goes.
Correct.
Same thing goes for a bowling ball. So,
And that analogy also works for, you don't hear these terms much anymore, but you'll sometimes hear people call a ball core heavy or cover heavy.
Right.
That analogy works the same there. As you get into, we don't have a cutaway of one of those, but as you get into an entry level or even some of the lower mid-performance balls, they have pancake weight blocks or maybe just a little hockey puck type of block here. And that's the same type of thing. Those are cover heavy balls, so more of the weight is on the outside. It's going to make the ball grow longer. And then as you get into these heavier blocks where all the weight is on the inside, that's a core heavy ball, and that's going to make the ball grow up stronger.
right.
So just kind of spin faster and create that friction.
Yep.
Exactly.
Exactly it.
And as far as finding your track flare, when you're after you throw the ball, you're looking at the oil pattern on the ball, and the width of that is your flare, right?
You're going to see different lines. When you look at your track, you used to just see one oil line along your track area, and now you're going to see it. It's going to come to a point, and then it's going to kind of fan out, and you're going to look at that total distance of flare, and that's going to give you how much flare you're actually getting out of the ball.
Right.
All right. That pretty much cover ball characteristics.
Yeah, I believe so, and always keep in mind too, like we said, we look at pin placement, we look at mass bias placement in relation to your axis. Once the ball is drilled, you're not done. You can change the cover stock. There's probably thousands of different variations to make the ball react differently. So once you have your ball drilled, or if you already have a ball and now you're finding out about this, you're not locked into that ball reaction. You can tweak the cover stock with all different kinds of products and make the ball roll totally different. So if you just got a ball and you got it drilled and you didn't realize any of this stuff, you're not locked into that ball reaction. You can change it.
All right. Next thing we have to talk about is ball releases. Virtual gravity and the high road just came out. We have those in stock. They're shipping now. Coming out the end of November, November 26th, is the Track Rising SE. And
Special edition.
Special edition.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that
This
one.
marks the third ball in their line.
Rising line, yeah.
And then early December, December 2nd, Hammer has the Raw Hammer Acid coming out. We're hoping to get a video of that one shot possibly this week and put out there for everyone.
Yeah, we should hopefully check out our high road video. That ball rolls great.
Yes.
We threw it last week and it was very, 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 very good. So
Phenomenal.
All of our reviews are up on bowlingball.com. Just search for the high road and you'll see them there.
That's HY-ROAD.
thank you for that.
Hey, you know, steal my part.
Although we did make it where you can find it with Sherry spelling.
Type in anything. It'll work.
Well, not anything.
No.
Close enough.
I'll make it so you type in anything to pull you up to the high road.
And I believe we also have a special promotion for Talk Bowling watchers or viewers.
Talk Bowling customers only can save $10 off any order of $60 or more. This is going to be limited through December 15th. Enter TB10 Talk Bowling. Customers only, TB10 in the promotion code during checkout will save you $10.
That's a great time to get those Christmas gifts.
And remember, you also get a free bowlingballcom microfiber towel with every order $10 or more.
Exactly.
and look for our U.S. bowler back cover coming out hopefully in the next week or two.
Hopefully. Going out to all league bowlers.
That's correct.
That about wraps it up this time.
That's it. That does it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, guys. I'm Hallstrom. Talk Bowling is happy to bring you the latest updates in the bowling industry, bowling tips, and new updates brought to you by the largest internet bowling ball website.
So close. He's making it harder on himself.
And updates on the largest internet retailer. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys.
Wow. You got this?
You're gonna make the blooper reels week after week after week.
Do you want me to just hold this up for you like that?